Hey there! Are you somebody who enjoys the kill count but wishes they did more superhero, fantasy, or action movies? Well, that's what I'm here for. This is Body Count, where I find out just how murderous all of our favorite movie characters really are. Today's episode, Black Widow. If you've ever wondered how many people Black Widow has either killed or knocked out on the big screen, well, this is the place for you. To date, Black Widow has appeared in 7 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And since her solo movie is coming out soon, kinda, I thought it would be really interesting to count up all the bodies that she's piled up through the years. So how bloodthirsty is Black Widow exactly? I'll tell you in a second. Before I start, I must tell you that most aliens do not count for this list. I thought a long time about including alien kills, and I would have gladly counted them, but I just decided that killing a faceless Chitauri or Outrider soldier just isn't a kill. They are technically sentient beings, but they're really nothing more than just modified grunts. If a species is not capable of speaking or having dialogue with the hero, it will not count as a kill. So characters like Thanos or Ronin will count, but a Chitauri soldier or a robot? Nah, she can't be charged in a court of law for that. Alright, let's get into it. Black Widow was first introduced to the MCU about 23 minutes into Iron Man 2, and she doesn't get any action until there are about 23 minutes left in the movie. Huh, that's neat. After being sexualized by Happy and every teenage boy watching the movie, she finally gets to kicking some ass. These trained professional guards cannot handle the might of flippy leg things. She starts off this count with a nice electrocution knockout. Come on, this guy's not getting up. She then proceeds to perform the classic dropkick nut punch flippy slam for 2 more knockouts. The nut punch probably hurt, but the guy is still moving when it cuts away, so no knockout. She hits these guys with a little smoke, a little kick, then she pulls out a wire and gets herself a 2-for-1. Then after doing her vintage leg flip knockout and slamming this guy to the ground, she finishes the scene with a great moment where she sprays this guy with mace. Mace doesn't necessarily mean knockout, and neither does hanging by a wire. These guys are still moving, and it wasn't confirmed if they were knocked out or killed, so they don't count. She doesn't get any more action for the rest of the movie, so let's move on to her second appearance in The Avengers. She starts off the movie how every good superhero does, tied to a chair. But it isn't long before she sees some action. She goes to work on these 2 goons, even smacking one of them with her hair. She gets this sweet front flip chair knockout, and then another leg flippy one. And this had to have hurt, but even if this broke his leg, he looks like he's still awake and moving, so no knockout on him. She spends the middle part of the movie basically meeting the team, tricking Loki, and running from the Hulk. But she does get one more knockout when she's fighting Hawkeye and she gives him a Chuck Liddell style haymaker to the face. But for the rest of the movie and the entire final battle, she just kills Chitauri soldiers, so her count for this movie is over. On to her next appearance in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. She starts off this movie kicking ass. Beating ass, kicking ass, shocking ass, and capping people in the ass. She uses this guy as a human bungee cord. Then she proceeds to put bullets in 5 men, starting off her actual body count for this video. She's just plain rude to this guy, and after slamming this guy to the ground, she politely breaks the jaw of the last man with a metal pipe. After mourning over the death of Nick Fury and running from S.H.I.E.L.D. for a portion of the movie, she finally comes to another action scene. But she spends most of it running away, and she gets no kills or knockouts here, even though she tries to put up a fight and lands a headshot on the Winter Soldier. And in her final action scene, she cleans house with these 3 guys and gets herself some old lady knockouts. We got a body slam, a head slam, and another body slam to cap off her appearance in this movie. After that, she saves Sam and then tells Cap she's changing her identity and going into hiding. And then she doesn't. let's jump into Avengers Age of Ultron. There is no talkie-talkie here. She immediately starts this movie off in an action scene. I'll say this is a knockout, and following that is an even better one. She blows up this Jeep with a grenade, but I've looked over this multiple times and I just can't find any proof that this kills or injures anybody on board. It blew up in the back, and the only guy that we can see jumped out beforehand. She then gives this guy a nice crack to the face, and then she takes these guys down. There is a bone cracking sound when she does this, so I'll say she broke one of their necks. She then casually takes this man's life with a couple of shots to the side. After that, she tends to Clint for a bit, flirts with Bruce, and shoots at some robots. Her next interaction with humans ends with 2 knockouts, with a wall run kick and a body slam. And then she shoots somebody in her nightmare vision, but I'm not sure what to make of this, because the other Avengers had visions of the future, but it's implied that this is a memory and that it happened. But it is just in her head, and she does see 2 girls without mouths, so I'm saying this isn't real and doesn't count as anything. After that, she hangs out at Clint's farm, rides her bike a little bit, gets captured by Ultron, then she just fights robots for the rest of the film. So, after saving the world for a second time, let's see what she's up to in her next appearance, in Captain America: Civil War. She once again starts this movie off straight schooling fools. She starts off with a sweet motorcycle KO, then she just gets to work. Boom, bop, bam, whack, boop, bam, slam, zap. Then after putting up a fight with Crossbones, she is dropped into a tank along with a grenade. So the only logical thing to do in this situation is to knock this guy out and use the other guy as a shield. I've gone back and forth about if this one's a kill or not, because Crossbones is the one who throws the grenade in there, and it probably would have killed this guy anyways. But then I thought, well, if it was revealed in court that you grab somebody and put them in front of you to shield yourself from a grenade, and it killed them, yeah, you're probably going to prison. So this is a kill. She then goes on to have a nice little fight with these 2 guys, where she ends up shooting one of them in the head for another kill. For her next couple scenes, she talks politics, dodges explosions, and picks Team Tony. Her next time in action, she tries to take on the Winter Soldier for a second time, but that doesn't last long. She then fights in the amazing airport battle scene, and even though it is fun and entertaining, she doesn't have any knockouts or kills here. She stops Black Panther from getting to Steve, and in her last scene, she tells Tony off, and that's it for her in this movie. So, after saving the world from aliens and robots and the government and themselves, Black Widow appears in 2 more movies for one final fight against Thanos for the future of the universe. But surprisingly, she's actually very low on kills and knockouts for her final 2 appearances. She doesn't show up in Infinity War until 41 minutes into it. She gets a nice stab to the gut on Corvus Glaive. She appears in a few more scenes, then unsuccessfully fights Proxima Midnight, and she just fights Outrider soldiers for the rest of it. So no numbers added to the count for this one, and in Endgame, she actually does even less fighting. Most of her scenes in this are either dialogue heavy or she's with the group planning the time heist. Her only action scene and her last in the MCU is with Hawkeye. And even though he puts up a good fight, she comes out on top and gets what she wants. She jumps to her death and sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone, ending her body count with herself. Awkward. So, exactly how deadly is the MCU's Black Widow? In her 7 appearances so far, she has totaled 10 kills and 34 knockouts. That's about 1.43 kills per movie and about 4.86 KOs per movie. These are the totals for each of her individual movies. She had the most kills in The Winter Soldier and the least in Infinity War. And she had the most knockouts in both Iron Man 2 and Civil War, and the least amount in Infinity War and Endgame. So there are the numbers. I honestly expected this deadly assassin to pile up more bodies than she did, but I know that most of her killing is behind her, and this is the MCU. These aren't exactly the most violent movies. But who knows how many more numbers she'll pile up when her solo movie comes out next year. We have about 8 months to wait for that, so these are the numbers for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see which character's body count I do next, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace! Hey! If you like this video, and you want to see more of my ridiculous content, check out one of these. Maybe you'll enjoy yourself, or maybe you'll watch it and crap your pants. Click one and let's find out.